your thought about what the critical discoveries were in the nature of corruption in our country and what we could be doing to manage the effects, which have been very significant on economic growth and development in our country.
Thank you so much. Rather than theirs. An example is Nigerians buying exotic homes in the United States, buying exotic homes in the UK, buying exotic homes in the UAE, Dubai, and then going to South Africa to also buy exotic homes, which they lock up and they stupidly call it good investment.
Yes.
When somebody took me round on Pretoria Street, a long chain of homes, exotic homes with swimming pool, cool pool, and hot pools. And I said, do they come, these Nigerians, do they come to these places at all? He said, they do come, but they still stay in 5-star hotels. And so what is that sort of, you're paying bills, you're going to make the economy better, and your kit and kin, they can't even afford 3 square meals a day. And it's the same thing when they take money to safe havens, places like Cayman Islands, Liechtenstein, Seychelles, Mauritius. These are safe havens. They don't have anything. They have water, they can't even fish, but they have most of the monies that serve the economies are from third world countries, especially Nigeria and other poor African countries. Another recent case, you remember the case, celebrated case of Halliburton, Siemens. We understand this better. No sense society will build her future on foreign cultures. We must look into our own history and culture and build strong values upon which our right track. I recall a discussion I had with a lady, an American lady in the State Department in the US. She called me aside and said, look, don't be so hard on Nigeria. There's corruption everywhere. There's so much corruption in United States. But the difference between Nigeria and United States is that in United States, they have the strongest institutions. And they use a lot of money to prevent it from happening. And when it does happen, they now decisively deal with it. And it is true. Things get to Nigeria here, things happen, and there are no repercussions. People get away with everything, including murder. And this has been the cause of, it's all hands on deck. And look, and the docility of Nigerians. Nigerians some of them are so cowardly. Things are happening under their noses. They withdraw, sit down, look. That will not help the country. I'll give you one example. The governors, after 8 years as a governor, he goes back to the Senate. Why? And one day, Nigerians are watching. They will just wake up to find that all senators are former governors. They will even make laws to say that condition precedent, you must be a 2-term governor before you become a member of the Senate of the Federal Republic. Nigerians are watching. So this is counterproductive because you spend money to do an election to become a governor. First 4 years, you consolidate. Last 4 years, you build on the legacies. But if you have yet another election to the Senate, you begin to build watches. And Nigerians and the voters, I mean, they should do something, say something. But the way that Nigerians are so afraid to even talk, they would grumble a lot and complain a lot. But when time comes, push comes to shove, they withdraw into their shell and do sit down. This will not help Nigeria move forward.
Thank you so much. That is so important. I have been running a campaign that says that anybody who is in public office for 12 straight years is being governor, commissioner, is a social parasite. It shows that he cannot earn a living on his own. So if there is a friend of yours who was governor, who is in the Senate, tell him that Patrick Trump says he's a social parasite. Because if you are you go, and I know those who have gone from commissioner to senator to governor back to senator, they are social parasites. Nobody should live off government like that. They should go and work in wherever it is they used to work